Hello and welcome to Erratic Attempts. I want to talk to you about this feeling that maybe many of us have, that things are in flux, things are out of control, and the future is even more uncertain than we typically think it is. So we have all these crises: climate change, war, inflation, overall insecurity, violence, and maybe a crisis of meaning. How do we make meaning in a world that doesn't seem to make sense? I'm not a psychologist. I'm trained in cultural, political theory and philosophy. I'm also an artist. I can speak to you from a little bit of life experience. Not that much. There are people that have had much more experience living, but at a certain point we need to think about what our voice can be in the world. And the good thing about the times we're living in today, is that many of us can have a voice that didn't have the chance before. So that's maybe something to appreciate. We also may have more agency than we think we do. If you're living in a democracy, you have the power to vote. You have the power to run for office. If we complain about politics and politicians, if we are citizens in a democratic country, that shouldn't stop us from running for office. I know it's difficult, can be tedious, boring, annoying, but we all have that possibility. We shouldn't discount it too easily. If we don't like what we see in the media, well, there's YouTube, there's blogs, there is social media, there are many ways to engage. The problem seems to be how to get your voice out. Well, I can't help you there. I'm trying it myself. But if you only reach a few people, and even if it's nothing but therapy for yourself, at least you can say you've tried. You have not just sat on your couch, in your chair, on the floor or whatever, and entertained yourself to death, but you have actually tried to make a difference in the world. So what I can't say is how to fix all these problems. What I can say is we can't just rest not engaging. We can't just recede into our private lives. We have a responsibility to be political. I don't care what your politics are. You may not care what mine are sometimes. The idea of this channel is to maybe help you get engaged. Maybe help you also find a voice as you watch me stumbling around trying to find mine. If you try to do this, if you try to make meaning and not wait for meaning to come to you, maybe that'll help. For that, it needs hope. And hope isn't something we naturally have. We just have to try to have it. It needs a certain sense of determination. And it needs application. So you need to apply yourself. You need to do something. But you need to also be true to yourself. Don't let gurus, self-help activists, or people who like to give orders tell you who you are, tell you what to do. We are all born into this world as individuals. We live in a society. We have responsibilities. Society also has responsibilities to us. But we have every right and All of us have different degrees of capacity to engage. So I invite you to do this. I invite you to think about how you can make a difference. Can you write something? Can you post something? Can you reach out to somebody? Now, how should this happen? What should we do? There's so much negativity in the world. We should be critical. We shouldn't just accept everything at face value, but we should be kind. We should be within reason, forgiving. We should be accepting. We should realize that we all ourselves make mistakes, are fallible. We've said some things in the past, or we'll say something in the future, we probably shouldn't have said, or that we would like to change. And just as much as we, for ourselves, would like to be treated with some kind of grace and kindness, extend this to others. Not without reason, but a little bit. Just be a little bit more accepting of the people around you. Try to see things from their side. Try to approach the world, whether true or not, as if everybody's trying their best. We all fail. I fail. You'll fail. We all fail. But we should try. And we should realize that in this community of people who are not perfect, we are all just stumbling to try to make sense. So, let's help each other. Let's make the world a little bit nicer and kinder every day. Not every day is going to be easy, but we'll have to work at it. Hope comes from being hopeful. We are hopeful because we decide we want to be hopeful. Kindness comes from being kind. We are kind if we want to be so. So, let's look at this, our erratic attempt at life, and try to make it a little bit better. I know this sounds a little bit preachy, but I figured as an opening statement, it's probably something that we all need to hear sometimes. Thank you very much for listening. There'll be more soon. I'll post whenever I can. And so let's see how this goes. Thank you very much for listening. Goodbye.